English podcast.
From Learn English with Joy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Learn English with Joy. We're so happy to have you join us today. I just want to start by thanking all of you for your amazing support. It truly means the world to us. Your comments, your stories, and your encouragement inspire us to keep bringing you the best content we can. Whether you're a new listener or someone who's been with us from the start, we're thrilled you're here.
Hi, everyone. It's so wonderful to be back with all of you. I have to say, it's incredible to connect with learners from all over the world. Every time I read your messages, I'm reminded of the powerful community we've built together. We're so grateful to have you all as part of the Learn English with Joy family. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. We're all learning and growing together.
Absolutely. It's that sense of community that makes this experience so special. We couldn't do this without you. So thank you again for being here.
Now, today's episode is going to be really exciting. We're going to dive into something that's super important for all language learners: speaking skills. Specifically, we'll be talking about how you can improve your English speaking and feel more confident when you communicate.
That's right, Emily. A lot of learners focus on grammar or vocabulary, but speaking is such an essential part of the process, and yet, it's something we often overlook. We'll explore why regular practice is so important and how you can start improving your speaking skills right away.
Exactly. So, get ready to learn some great tips and tricks. We're going to start with something that will really set the foundation for you: the importance of practice when it comes to speaking.
Let's begin by talking about why regular practice is so crucial. The truth is, the more you speak, the more natural English will feel. Just like any skill, speaking requires consistency. Think about it. If you want to improve your fluency and sound more natural, you need to speak often.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. It's not just about practicing once in a while. You need to speak every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. The more you speak, the more your brain gets used to the sounds and structure of English. It becomes easier to think in English, and before you know it, your confidence will grow.
Exactly. Regular speaking practice doesn't just help with fluency, but also boosts your confidence. A lot of learners hold themselves back because they're afraid of making mistakes. But the more you practice, the more comfortable you'll feel expressing yourself. It's normal to feel nervous at first, but remember, confidence comes with time and consistent effort.
And don't forget, when you speak regularly, you're also improving your overall language acquisition. You're training your ears to recognize patterns, words, and sentences, which ultimately makes you a better listener too. It's a win-win.
Now, let's talk about how you can start implementing regular speaking practice. You don't need to wait for a formal class or language partner. You can begin practicing on your own every day.
One great way is to use language exchange apps like HelloTalk or Tandem. These apps connect you with native speakers or other learners, and you can chat via text, voice messages, or even video calls. You can practice speaking at your own pace, and it's super convenient.
Yes, I love those apps. And another option is to join conversation groups. Many online platforms and local communities offer group chats or speaking clubs where you can practice English with other learners. It's a great way to connect with people and get feedback from others.
Another simple method is to speak to yourself in English. This might sound a bit strange at first, but trust me, it's a really effective way to practice. You can narrate your day, talk about your thoughts, or even describe what you see around you. The more you speak, the more natural it becomes.
Exactly, and even if you're only practicing for a few minutes each day, those moments add up. It's not about the amount of time you spend, but the consistency. Just a quick 5-minute speaking session every day will make a big difference over time.
Now, let's talk about some personal tips for making speaking practice a part of your routine. For me, one thing I love doing is practicing during my commute or while I'm doing household chores. I'll talk to myself in English or even listen to a podcast and repeat what the host says. It helps me keep practicing without interrupting my day.
That's such a good tip, Emily. I do something similar. I like to record short videos or voice memos of myself speaking in English. I talk about anything, my day, my plans, or even my thoughts on a particular topic. It helps me track my progress and see where I need to improve.
That's awesome, Chris. Recording yourself is also a great way to identify areas where you can improve, like your pronunciation or intonation. You can listen back and compare your speaking to a native speaker's. It's so motivating to see how much you've improved over time.
Exactly, and it gives you a chance to notice things you might have missed while speaking in the moment. It's like having a little personal coach. The more you hear yourself, the easier it is to spot areas where you can refine your speech. So, to wrap up, if you want to improve your speaking skills, the key is to practice regularly. Whether it's through language exchange apps, conversation groups, or just speaking to yourself, consistency is essential.
And remember, don't stress about being perfect. Start with small steps and celebrate the progress you make along the way. The more you practice, the more confident and natural you'll feel when speaking.
And be sure to record yourself, listen to your progress, and always look for ways to keep speaking every day. It's all about building that confidence and fluency, step by step.
We hope these tips help you get started with your speaking practice. Stay patient, stay consistent, and most importantly, keep enjoying the process. English speaking is a journey, and we're excited to be part of yours.
Now, let's dive into one of the most powerful techniques for improving your English speaking: shadowing. Shadowing is a method where you repeat what a native speaker says immediately after they say it. It's like mimicking their words, rhythm, and tone.
Yes! The beauty of shadowing is that it helps you improve your pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm. You're not just learning the words, but also how they sound when spoken naturally. This technique helps you sound more like a native speaker over time. Exactly. The key here is that shadowing doesn't just focus on repeating the words. It's about copying the flow of the language, including the pauses, emotional tone, and the natural cadence of speech. When you shadow, you're practicing how to sound natural and fluent. And the best part? It doesn't matter if you don't understand every word at first. The more you practice, the more you'll understand, and it will help you pick up new phrases, accents, and expressions that are commonly used in everyday conversations.
So how do you actually get started with shadowing? It's simple. First, choose short, slow-paced videos or podcasts. Make sure the content is easy to follow, especially in the beginning.
That's right. You want to start with content that isn't too overwhelming. Look for podcasts or videos where the speakers talk clearly with good enunciation. Repeat exactly what they say. Don't worry if you can't keep up at first. Just focus on mimicking the sounds and rhythm.
A great tip is to pause the video or podcast after each sentence or phrase and try to repeat it out loud, exactly as you hear it. Focus on getting the intonation right, as well as the emotional tone. Sometimes, just capturing the right rhythm of speech makes a huge difference in how you sound.
And here's an important point. Start slow. If you choose slower content at first, you'll have a better chance of getting it right. As you build confidence, gradually move to faster content. The more challenging material will help push your abilities.
Exactly. As you progress, challenge yourself with natural speed content. You'll notice that your speaking will become much smoother over time as you adapt to faster conversations. But always begin with the basics, so you build a solid foundation.
Now, let's talk about why shadowing is so effective. First, it increases familiarity with native pronunciation. One of the biggest challenges learners face is understanding how native speakers pronounce words, especially with accents or slangs.
That's right. With shadowing, you get to practice those subtle sounds, like different vowel pronunciations and stress patterns, which can be hard to master through reading or writing alone. This will definitely help with pronunciation over time.
And not only does it help with pronunciation, but it also improves your understanding of different accents. If you practice with speakers from various regions, you'll get used to the variety of ways people speak in English.
Exactly, Emily. Shadowing helps you develop an intuitive grasp of English patterns. The more you shadow, the more you become familiar with how native speakers structure their sentences and conversations. This makes you sound more natural and fluent as you practice.
And one of the best things about shadowing is that it builds confidence in speaking. The more you hear and mimic natural speech, the more comfortable you'll feel using those same patterns in your own conversations. It's like having a role model for how to speak.
Right. And the best part? As you continue with shadowing, you'll be able to pick up new phrases and expressions that you might not have learned from textbooks. These are the phrases people actually use in everyday conversations, and you'll start to understand them more clearly.
That's a huge advantage. It's not just about speaking clearly, it's about speaking like a native speaker, with the right emphasis, timing, and emotional tone. All these things come naturally when you shadow regularly.
So, whether you're trying to improve your accent, your fluency, or just learn how to sound more natural, shadowing is an excellent method. And the best part? It's something you can do anytime, anywhere.
Now, let's dive into another technique that's extremely helpful: recording and listening to yourself. This might sound a little strange at first, but trust me, it's one of the most effective ways to improve your speaking skills.
Absolutely, Emily. When you record yourself speaking, it gives you a chance to hear yourself from an outsider's perspective. This is crucial because sometimes we don't notice our own mistakes while speaking. By listening to the recording, you can easily identify areas where you need improvement, whether it's pronunciation, grammar, or fluency.
Right. When you listen to your recordings, you'll likely hear things you might miss while speaking. Maybe you notice that you're not emphasizing certain words or that your sentence structure needs work. It's all part of the learning process, and self-assessment is one of the most powerful tools to see how far you've come.
Exactly. Self-assessment helps you recognize your progress and pinpoint areas where you still need work. It's easy to feel like you're not improving, but when you listen back to recordings from a few weeks ago, you'll be amazed at how much you've actually developed.
Now, let's talk about how you can actually implement this technique. The good news is that you don't need fancy equipment. You can simply use your phone or a recording app. The key is to record yourself consistently.
Start with something simple, like reading a passage aloud or talking about your day. Record short passages or conversations and listen back carefully. Pay attention to your pronunciation, your sentence structure, and how natural your speech sounds.
Exactly. You can also try recording conversations with a language partner or even practicing giving a short presentation on a topic you enjoy. It could be anything from a topic about your hobbies to a news story you've read. It's important to record different scenarios to see how well you speak in various contexts.
And don't be afraid to experiment. You can even read an article aloud and record it. This will help you get used to pronouncing unfamiliar words and practicing your fluency. The more variety you bring into your recordings, the more you'll learn from them.
That's a great tip, Chris. When you're doing these recordings, try not to overthink it. It's okay if it's not perfect. The goal is to practice regularly, and over time, you'll notice improvements in both accuracy and confidence.
Now, let's discuss the real benefits of recording and listening to yourself. One of the most obvious benefits is that it helps you identify mistakes that you might not notice when you're speaking in the moment.
That's right. When you listen back, you can spot pronunciation errors or realize that you might be using the wrong grammar. This feedback is invaluable because it gives you specific things to work on. You'll also notice areas where you're doing well, which helps keep you motivated.
Absolutely. And recording yourself provides a concrete way to track your improvement over time. You can go back and compare your recordings from week to week and see how much progress you've made. It's amazing to hear how much smoother and more confident you sound after just a few weeks of consistent practice.
It's like keeping a journal of your speaking progress. Listening to your own voice can be a little awkward at first, but it's such a rewarding experience to hear the difference as you improve. Over time, your confidence will grow, and you'll feel more comfortable when speaking in real-life situations.
And the best part? You can repeat this process as many times as you want, anytime. It's a great way to practice flexibility in your speech and see how much you've learned. If you notice that certain areas still need improvement, it gives you a clear focus for the next stage of your learning.
To wrap up, recording and listening to yourself is an incredibly helpful tool for improving your speaking. It gives you a chance to identify mistakes, track your progress, and build your confidence.
Exactly. It's one of the easiest and most effective ways to get better at speaking English. So, grab your phone, start recording yourself, and make it a habit. The more you listen, the more you'll improve.
Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about practicing consistently and learning from your recordings. The more you practice, the more natural speaking English will feel.
We hope these tips help you improve your speaking skills. Keep recording, keep practicing, and most importantly, enjoy the journey. It's all about making steady progress every day. Now, let's talk about something that's absolutely essential for building your speaking confidence: vocabulary. The more words you know, the more confident you'll feel during conversations. It's simple. When you have a larger vocabulary, you'll be able to express your thoughts more clearly and quickly.
Exactly, Chris. And the best part? With a bigger vocabulary, you'll experience less hesitation when speaking. Instead of searching for words or getting stuck, you'll be able to use the right words at the right time, making you sound more fluent and natural.
It's true. Vocabulary is the key to unlocking your ability to speak more easily. The more words you know, the less likely you are to be stuck when you're in a conversation. Plus, it reduces that anxiety we sometimes feel when we're worried about finding the right words.
And it's not just about knowing more words, it's about knowing how to use them. When you expand your vocabulary, you're also expanding your ability to communicate more effectively in different situations.
Now that we know why vocabulary is so important, let's talk about how you can expand it. The key is consistency. Learning a few new words every day is a great place to start.
I love that. A good goal is to set aside time every day to learn 5 to 10 new words or phrases. It doesn't have to be overwhelming, just a few words a day adds up over time.
Exactly. And it's not just about memorizing words. Context is crucial. Try to learn words in real-life scenarios. For example, you could learn phrases like, "Can I get the bill?" or "What time does the movie start?" By listening to English speakers or watching movies. This way, you learn how to use the words in context, which is the best way to remember them.
Right. Context makes the words stick. For instance, if you're learning how to order food at a restaurant, learning menu-related vocabulary will be so much easier when you practice it in a real-life situation.
Another great way to expand your vocabulary is by using flashcards or vocabulary apps. These are great for reviewing and reinforcing what you've learned. You can even make your own flashcards with words you come across during reading or conversations.
That's a great tip, Chris. I also recommend reading books, listening to podcasts, or watching TV shows in English. When you encounter new words, make a note of them and look up their meanings. This helps keep the learning process natural and enjoyable. Now that you've learned new words, the next step is to use them in real conversations. Don't be afraid to try out new words, even if you're not entirely sure you're using them perfectly. The more you use them, the more familiar they'll become.
Exactly. The best way to reinforce new vocabulary is by actively using it. For example, if you've learned a new word today, try to use it in a conversation or write a sentence using that word. The more you use it, the easier it will be to remember and incorporate into your daily conversations.
And if you're worried about making mistakes, don't be. Everyone makes mistakes when learning something new, and it's perfectly normal. The more you practice speaking and using new vocabulary, the more confident you'll feel. Plus, you'll improve faster.
And another great way to practice vocabulary is through writing. Keep a journal, write social media posts, or even send messages to your language partner using the new words you've learned. Writing helps you practice and cement those new words in your memory.
Absolutely. I love journaling in English because it allows me to express my thoughts freely while practicing new vocabulary. Plus, you can always go back and review what you've written to see how much you've improved.
Another fun way to practice is through games and quizzes. There are so many vocabulary apps and games out there that make learning new words enjoyable. Whether you're playing a word search or using a flashcard app, you're not only learning new words, but also making it a fun part of your routine.
Exactly. And the more fun you make learning, the easier it becomes to incorporate new vocabulary into your day-to-day conversations.
So, why is expanding your vocabulary so important? As we've already mentioned, knowing more words will help you feel more confident in conversations. You won't be stuck searching for words or feeling hesitant.
That's right. Having a larger vocabulary allows you to express yourself in more detailed and precise ways. For example, instead of saying, "I like this," you can say, "I absolutely love this," or "I'm really fond of this." That variety helps you sound more natural.
And it's not just about sounding better. It's also about understanding others. The more words you know, the more familiar you'll be with the language. You'll be able to understand native speakers more easily, even when they use idiomatic expressions or slang.
Plus, expanding your vocabulary helps you become more adaptable in different conversations. Whether you're talking to a friend, a colleague, or a teacher, you'll have the words you need to communicate effectively in any situation.
And let's not forget about the joy of learning. When you learn a new word or phrase and then use it correctly in a conversation, it's such a great feeling. It's a small win that adds to your overall confidence.
That's the beauty of learning a new language. It's full of little victories. And every time you expand your vocabulary, you're adding another tool to your language toolbox.
So, to wrap up, expanding your vocabulary is one of the most powerful ways to build your confidence in English. The more words you know, the more confident you'll feel speaking, and the easier it will be to express yourself clearly.
And remember, it's not just about memorizing words. It's about practicing them in context, using them in conversations, and reinforcing them through writing and reading. Keep learning new words every day, and soon you'll see how much easier it becomes to speak English fluently.
We hope these tips help you expand your vocabulary and feel more confident in your English speaking. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and don't be afraid to make mistakes along the way.
Exactly. Enjoy the process, celebrate your progress, and keep adding new words to your vocabulary every day. We're so excited to be on this journey with you. Now that we've covered the importance of regular speaking practice and expanding your vocabulary, let's talk about another key aspect of language learning: joining conversation groups or classes. Practicing in real-life situations is one of the most effective ways to improve your speaking skills.
That's right. The beauty of conversation groups or classes is that they provide a safe space for you to practice speaking English without feeling judged. You can try out new words, phrases, and structures while also receiving constructive feedback.
Exactly. In a conversation group, you get the chance to speak with people who are also learning English, as well as with native speakers. This is incredibly valuable because you'll get to hear how others use language and you can learn from their mistakes or insights.
And beyond just practicing, conversation groups help you build real-world communication skills. You'll be able to have conversations that mimic the types of interactions you'll experience in workplaces, social settings, or everyday life. It's about learning to communicate, not just to memorize words.
So, how do you find conversation groups or classes? Well, there are plenty of online platforms where you can join conversation groups or have one-on-one lessons with a tutor.
Platforms like Italki, Preply, and Cambly offer a wide range of teachers and conversation partners from all over the world. You can choose a tutor based on their specialties, whether it's business English, pronunciation, or casual conversations. You can even choose the time that fits your schedule.
I love those platforms because they allow you to practice with native speakers who can help you with accents, intonation, and real conversational skills. But it's not just about the formal lessons. You can also find language exchange partners who want to practice your language while helping you with English.
That's such a great option, Emily. In a language exchange program, you're speaking with a native speaker, but it's a two-way street. You help them with your language, and they help you with English. It's a win-win.
Absolutely. Another great way is to attend local meetups or conversation clubs. Many cities have free or low-cost meetups where learners can practice English in a friendly, informal environment. If you're shy or nervous, this can be a more comfortable way to get started. Now, let's talk about some of the common challenges learners face when they join conversation groups or classes. A lot of learners feel nervous, especially if they haven't spoken English much before or are not confident with their skills.
I totally get that. Speaking in front of others can be intimidating. But here's the thing. Focus on the conversation, not on the idea of making mistakes. Everyone in that group is there to learn, just like you. It's okay to make errors. That's part of the learning process.
Yes, I tell my students to embrace mistakes. They're opportunities to learn, not something to be ashamed of. The more you speak, the easier it gets. And remember, the people you're speaking with are probably nervous too. They understand what you're going through.
Exactly. And let's not forget, making mistakes is a normal part of learning. The more you speak, the more comfortable and confident you'll become. So, if you get something wrong, just laugh it off and keep going.
And another tip, be patient with yourself. It takes time to improve, and the more you practice, the more fluent you'll become. When you focus on enjoying the conversation and not just getting everything perfect, the whole process becomes much more fun and natural.
And that's key. Don't pressure yourself to be perfect. Over time, your fluency will improve, and you'll find yourself getting better at not just speaking, but also listening and responding in English.
Right. Also, try to set small, achievable goals for each conversation. It could be something as simple as using a new word you learned, making sure to ask questions, or participating in a group discussion for a few minutes.
To wrap things up, conversation groups or classes are an essential part of language learning because they give you the chance to practice in real-world situations, get feedback, and improve your speaking skills in a supportive environment.
And if you're feeling nervous about speaking, remember that everyone in those groups is there to learn. Mistakes are part of the process. The important thing is to keep practicing and to enjoy the journey.
Exactly. Whether you're using an app, attending a meetup, or working with a tutor, real-world practice is invaluable for boosting your confidence and improving your speaking abilities. Don't be afraid to take that first step.
Keep practicing, stay consistent, and don't forget. Language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. The more you immerse yourself in speaking English, the easier and more natural it will become.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We hope these tips help you find the perfect conversation group or class for your needs. Keep speaking, keep learning, and keep enjoying the process. Before we wrap up today's episode, let's take a moment to reinforce some of the important vocabulary we've covered. We'll do a quick quiz to help you practice.
That's right. Don't worry, it's all about understanding the words in context, so take your time and try to answer. Let's get started.
Word 1. Fluency, meaning the ability to speak a language smoothly, without hesitation. Example: she spoke with fluency after years of practice. Question: can you think of a situation where you would use the word fluency? Try using it in a sentence.
Word 2, shadowing, meaning the technique of mimicking what a native speaker says to improve pronunciation and fluency. Example: by shadowing the speaker, she improved her English accent. Question: what are some benefits of shadowing? Can you describe a situation where you might practice this technique?
Word 3. Confidence, meaning the feeling of being sure about your abilities. Example: He gained confidence in his speaking skills after joining a conversation group. Question: how does having confidence in speaking help you in a conversation? Think of a time when you felt confident speaking English. Word 4, pronunciation, meaning, the way in which a word is spoken. Example: his pronunciation of English words improved after practicing with native speakers. Question: why is pronunciation important for speaking English? How can improving your pronunciation help in understanding conversations?
Great job, everyone! You've just reviewed some really important vocabulary. Remember, using these words regularly will help you feel more confident in your speaking. Keep practicing.
Yes, and don't forget to revisit these words and their meanings as you continue your learning journey. The more you use them, the more natural they'll feel.
That's it for today's quiz. Keep learning, and remember, it's all about gradual progress. We'll see you in the next episode, so don't forget to keep practicing. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. We hope you feel inspired to keep practicing your English no matter where you are on your learning journey. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making steady progress, one step at a time.
Absolutely, Emily. The most important thing is to keep going, even when things feel challenging. Don't worry about making mistakes. They are just part of the learning process. Every mistake is an opportunity to grow, and with each practice, you're getting closer to your goal.
Exactly. As J.K. Rowling once said, it is our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. The choice to keep trying, even when it's tough, is what shapes you into a stronger learner and communicator.
So let's make a small commitment today. Take a moment to speak just one sentence in English. It doesn't matter if it's simple. The important thing is to practice and keep moving forward. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and say something in English right now.
Yes, just speak one sentence. Whether it's I had a great day or I'm excited to learn more English. Every little bit counts, and you're doing amazing. Keep going, and we'll be here cheering you on every step of the way.
Thank you so much for listening. Keep practicing, stay patient, and remember, progress every day is more important than perfection. We can't wait to talk to you again in the next episode. Until then, happy learning.